Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I hope this video finds you all doing well. Today, we're going to cover Trainer Guard's opinion of the top 5 Rascal decks. Now, it's very early. The meta hasn't really shifted. Everything's up in the air. Nothing's kind of landed right now, settled, and we don't have an accurate picture of exactly how everything's going to work with the Rascals introduced to the game. That being said, I want to give you, he reached out to me with these 5 decks this morning, and he was like, dude, Ash, these are really solid decks. And I'm like, hey, you want to rank them 1 to 5? And he's like, do you have a clear favorite? I asked him, and he said, yeah, I do. So I'm like, okay, let's just do your top 5 decks. Rank them in order for me, and we'll show Rascals being played by a pro player in a variety of different archetypes. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's open this legendary first. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? It is, okay, Mega Knight, because I have the max Ewiz. So, you know, closer to, by the time we get Mega Knight maxed, maybe he'll be buffed. In which case, it would hurt Rascals. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to the decks here. I'm going to show you the decks right now. Bait, starting with Bait, and then I'll play them in order from 5th to 1st ranked by Trainer Guard. Lava Loon, number 2. Number 3 is Three Musketeers with the Rascals. Number 4 is Graveyard. And number 5 is going to be P.E.K.K.A. Minor Control with Rascals. Again, I will play them in order from 5th, least favorite, even though they're all solid, to number 1, his very favorite of the 5 decks. Before we get into the replay here, guys, or as we get into the replay, I want to ask you something about my channel. You need your personal opinion, guys. You guys always come through for me. And be honest with me. Please be honest. So, I'm thinking about doing like a monthly giveaway if we reach a subscriber goal. I don't want it to be gimmicky though, and I'm not sure how I feel about them. I think they've worked for a lot of channels converting just regular viewers to subscribers. That way they can get notified of my new content, blah, 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 blah. It's good for me, it's good for you, hopefully, right, if you like the content. So my idea would be, just like you've seen on tons of different channels, would be to go ahead and just get the give away a Razer phone or give away an iPhone 10 or a new iPad or something to 1 subscriber if we hit our goal every single month at random. Do you guys like that idea? I mean, there's only 1 winner out of like 500,000 people, right? So do you not like the idea? Let me know what you think, guys. I'll choose from the most active subscribers as well, so people will comment and like a lot. I think we can see those stats on our side in the analytics. Just let me know what you think of it. Anyway, I blabbed through the first minute of this replay, but don't worry, it's going to go way into overtime, so we have plenty of time to talk about Three Musketeers. So in this deck, Rascal's job is very simple. You're not going to be splitting Rascals ever, 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 ever in this matchup. They're always going to be played same lane, usually in the lane of the tower with the least health. The opposite of what you're going to do when you split Three Musketeers. You're splitting Three Muskies, like right now. We're going to go 2 to the healthier tower. When you place down the Rascals, as long as the tower isn't in fireball range already, of death range, you know, 1500 HP, totally fine. We're going to be playing them in the same lane as our unhealthy tower, basically making the opponent choose. Do I want to use my fireball on the Three Musketeers? Do I want to use my fireball on the Elixir Pump? Or do I want to use my fireball on the Rascals? It's a tough decision. And if they use the fireball against the Rascals, well, your big boy Rascals going to remain alive and help you out with a little, you know, an extra little push, a little jab in that lane. So that's the role of the Rascals in this deck, primarily fireball bait. Of course, defensively, they can come through for you in a variety of different situations that we'll see in this replay. So 47 seconds here. Important to note, guys, Trainer Guard, by the way, on the White Light account here, is definitely going to do a very good job of being patient and pumping up late into the match. I think he pumps up even well into double elixir time. Now, if you're playing on ladder instead of a challenge, you have to be aware that I think about the entering overtime, you know, about 10 seconds left in the match, it's tough with double elixir. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe it's like 52 seconds left in overtime is the last moment where you can actually get value out of your elixir pump. So keep that 52, 53 second mark in mind, and unless you know you can bait out your opponent's pump, or you're using your pump to distract a Hog Rider or a Giant or something like that in the last few seconds of the match, you don't want to be playing your Elixir Collector that late into the match, because you can't get the value returned from it, right? So here we go, guys. It's going to be, we're already into overtime. Things are pretty even. This is a slow match, right? And we're going to keep trying to bait out that fireball in the left lane. We're giving him all sorts of opportunities to play some sort of a fireball, or to play some direct damage, excuse me, into that left lane. Finally, the opponent does bite there. That's going to allow us to play the Elixir Pump. You can see Boy Rascal still survives and is able to clean up the rest of the mess there in the left lane. So now we're able to pump up. That's going to give us the Elixir we need to hopefully eventually come through in this matchup. Now, again, this is the 5th ranked deck of Trainer Guard, but he likes all the decks. He really likes this deck too, so don't be afraid to try it out. This is my personal favorite out of all the 5 decks that I'm going to be sharing, but then again, I love Three Musketeers. So again, we're making the opponent choose. Do they want to use a fireball on our pump? Do they want to use a fireball in the right lane? Do they want to use a fireball in the left lane? They decide to go left lane on it, and we get a little bit more chip damage on that right tower. Minor's just kind of whacking away with his shovel there, and we block that Zappy with an Ice Golem. So now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to split three Musketeers again, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. It's kind of repeat here. That way we can kind of benefit from the Elixir advantage manufactured by our pump. So here we go. Bandit does charge against that Musketeer. The opponent is actually playing very, very well here, splitting Zappies there in the center, buying a little bit of time with those Musketeers. However, we do lock on to that right tower, and it was a beautiful zap there by Guard, stopping that Dark Prince, get a couple extra hits in. Let's go ahead and just fast forward here. All we need at this point is just a zap on that right tower. It's going to be GG. So very, very well played there, and you can see the role of the Rascals in that deck, guys. It's like a 3-pronged attack. Rascals, 3 Muskies, and Elixir Pump. Where are you going to use your fireball, baby? Where are you going to use it? Personally, though, I still like the Royal Ghost deck a little bit better that I shared a few days ago. But, you know, it's early still. It's early. I played like 1 match with that deck, so let me be honest up front, right? All right, now let's watch. Oh, speaking of that deck, Florian from Munich Warriors, shout out to Florian and Munich Warriors, is going to be playing my favorite deck right now in the game at the top of the screen. However, it's going to be no match for this next deck. And surprisingly, Bait is going to be his 4th favorite out of these 5 decks. I thought it might be first. It's a really strong deck, and I shared a different version of a Rascal Bait deck just yesterday or the day before, depending on when I upload this. But again, here we're going to be using Rascals largely in a Fireball Bait type role, and you can see how well the big boy Rascal does from that Hunter, protecting the girls from that Hunter in the left lane. So here comes a Goblin Barrel with the big boy taking more damage, and you can see even with that log there, a good log by the opponent, we're still able to get a significant amount of damage, taking that left tower down to 1911 HP. Solid defense here. We're able to cycle to the Goblin Gang to deal with that 1 final Musketeer in the left. Probably going to lose this Princess here, but not before she does a little bit more chip damage to that. Oh, I stand corrected. We're going to protect our Princess. Obviously very important in any bait deck, protecting the Princess if you're able to. So here it comes. It's going to be another Goblin Barrel. I don't know. If I was Florian there, I might have fireballed. Hunter is hit or miss against a Goblin Barrel, right? Because it should really be your 3rd option in this deck. And far be it from me, Florian's probably a way better player than I am, so I'm not like nitpicking him. But I think that in hindsight, when you see the Hunter as the 2nd option instead of the 3rd, I think that it's just not as good, this type of a deck. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and gang on that Hog. And again, we'll go mono-e-mono against the Royal Ghost there, and now we have a charging Prince in the left lane. The opponent able to stop it with those skeletons, though, but we have a lot of damage onto that left tower. So again here, Hunter, you're going to see, you know, he gives up quite a bit of damage, quite a few stabs there to the Goblin Gang, and we're able to, even with the Fireball, we're able to hold that Hog to just 1 hit on that right tower. So now all we need is a little bit of defense here. We're going to, again, protect that Princess, and here comes the Goblin Barrel, guys. Goblin Barrel obviously used, when we know the opponent had log, just want to keep them moving, keep cycling, and try to beat them to the next Goblin Barrel before they have log back in hand. So I think it's 2 cards away, or 3 cards away for both opponent here. So here it comes. We're going to go ahead and log ourselves again, preventing this Hog from getting any hits in the right lane. Just a good job of how to deal with a Hog using this deck. Just log and clog up the lane with a Prince if you're able to. Again, we're going into that left lane with with that Goblin Barrel, even though that we know the opponent does have the log in cycle, just trying to keep things cycling here. And now, look at this. We have the oh, wow, look at that. So much things going on. I can't keep up, guys. But again, we blocked that Hog from getting any hits on the right tower. The opponent's going to have to deal with this big push coming in. He does a really good job buying that Hunter some time and really cleans up well. However, again, we're going to get some chip damage with the Princess this time, and that's going to be really the end of this match. All we need is a log and a poison to finish it off in the left, and we're going to get it done. So again, the Hog does get a one swing again, but 615, it's going to be GG. So Florian kept it close there, but we're just able to chip away. We're trying to get around that log, you know, any damage that we can, and eventually we're able to come out victorious. So what is deck number 3 going to be, guys? What do you think? It's going to be Graveyard. Graveyard's still in a weird spot. I wonder if Bowler Graveyard will come back if Rascals go meta. I don't know. It's you know, the old Splash Yard deck, the Trimax Splash Yard deck that we saw in the YouTuber challenge. It will be interesting to see. I don't know yet. I'm not sold on the idea, but we'll have to see. Anyway, the idea here is we're going to use Rascals as a bait card, right? And it can also tank with the Boy Rascal. So we're going to be using the Goblin Hunt and the Rascals to try to bait out the opponent's poison, whatever spell they have, and then we can go more aggressive with the Graveyard. It's actually really strong. We can combo the Boy Rascal or the Ice Golem with the Graveyard as our tank. Look at this right here, guys. This is interesting decision making that is something that I wouldn't have done, and I'm not a pro. That's why we have the pros on the channel here, right? We didn't use poison there. We opted not to. Once he dropped that E-Wiz, I probably would have used poison, I'll be honest with you. And that would have been too aggressive of a play, I feel like, because one thing about Trainer Guard is he's very patient, as you saw kind of in the first 2 matches. You know, pacing, tempo, cadence to these matches is really important to him. He doesn't, at the end of the day, he does not want to get caught off guard with not enough elixir to defend a counterattack. That's really the #1 trap that Graveyard players, even Graveyard pros in some circumstances, can fall into. So here we go. It's a big, big push here. It's Rascals and a poison and a Graveyard. All 3. That's going to be enough to take the tower. You can see Boy Rascal just doing his thing. Man, he's a big fella. He's a big dude, that Boy Rascal, and he actually got that left tower down fairly easily. And after this, the opponent gets a little bit desperate here, so we're just going to go ahead and speed things up because that was what the match was all about. He made it look very easy, but he did a good job of baiting the spell, and then going in, and finally that big, big push. Even though they had the poison, even though they had some defensive cards in hand, it wasn't enough to deal with that onslaught coming at them in the left lane. All right, now we're getting to the final 2 decks here, guys. What do you think it's gonna be? Well, it's Lava Loon. Wow, that puts P.E.K.K.A. Control with Rascals as #1. We'll watch that replay after this one. Let's get into this match here. We're going to start out with a Tombstone here. You're playing this a lot like Lava Loon, like you would a normal Lava Loon deck. The Rascals in this deck have an interesting role. They're in the deck, I believe, instead of guards in a typical deck like this. Look at this decision, by the way. He doesn't use Zap on that E-Wiz. Again, something that I would have done that the opponent does not do here. I would have zapped that E-Wiz right away. He says, you know what? There's no reason to use my Zap here. I'll save my Zap for later. And then look at this too. He decides to go in with the balloon in this situation, even though the Lava Hound is just about to pop. So look at the Zap. He saved the Zap. Now he's going to use the Zap. That's going to allow him to take that left tower. Now, the opponent's going to make a comeback here, but it's never really going to be too close. We're always going to have the upper hand in this match, even though it doesn't always look that way. That didn't look like a smart Prince. It was actually a really smart Prince. The opponent knew we didn't have enough elixir to play Rascals. I don't think he even knew we had them, to be honest with you. But he knew all we had was Tombstone, so we just played the aggressive Prince when he knew we were really low on elixir. And then he just logged, and he took that tower down to 71. What looked like kind of an aggressive, stupid play was actually pretty smart there. So now we're almost going to lose the right tower here. We decide tried to go for the 3 crown. So we send in the Lava Hound, but you know, I say go for the 3 crown, but we can actually still play the balloon in the pocket here. We have a lot of options, and we'll have the surviving minions in the right lane after we lose our right tower. Again, things aren't looking that good, but the match was never really out of hand. So there goes the Rascals, and there comes the poison from the opponent. So we're going to lose the Mega Knight, we're going to lose the girls, but boy Rascal's going to stay alive, and he's going to help tank here, forcing out another zap out of the opponent. Just a really, really smart gameplay here. We do connect with that balloon, taking it down. 3 crown again for Trainer Guard here, just doing a really good job of staying one step ahead of the opponent in that specific match. Now here's the replay you've all been waiting for. This one actually is really close, but it has Dark Goblin. The match is close. Let me get into the deck. The deck has Dark Goblin, it has P.E.K.K.A., it has Rascals. We didn't really talk too much about the Rascals' role in the last matchup, so just kind of rewinding a little bit here, at least narratively rewinding, is the Rascals are going to be like a beefier guards, and they can also tank, as you saw towards the end, for the pups, if you play them same lane, kind of a similar role of guards mixed with miner in a Lava Loon or a Lava Hound miner deck, right? You can tank for the surviving pups. You guys get the picture. So, this matchup is not as easy as it seems. Just because you have poison doesn't mean you can necessarily beat any graveyard player. Every graveyard deck is built nowadays with poison bait inherently in the deck. This deck was actually a popular deck that we're going against Edgar's deck. It was the P.E.K.K.A. Zappies deck, only instead of Goblin Hut, he has Tombstone in the deck. He plays a good Tombstone right there behind the right tower, so there's a steady flow of skeletons that's going to slow down the P.E.K.K.A. there. So here comes a Mega Minion going into this P.E.K.K.A. We're going to go ahead and support that P.E.K.K.A. with the Goblin Gang, force something out of the opponent here, but the Zappies are going to do a really good job for the opponent, slowing down the P.E.K.K.A. Zappies are truly underrated, in my opinion. They're one of my favorite cards in the game. Hunter, Zappies, Dark Goblin are cards that I think have a lot of value that people ought to maybe try out a little bit more in their favorite deck, see if it has a spot in the deck. So we're getting a little bit of chip damage in the right lane. Oh, one girl goes unanswered. She's going to get 3 gumball shots. I guess that's what they are, right? Gumball shots in her slingshot on that right tower. We're trying to kite that Royal Ghost away. We answer with the poison there. Luckily, the tower is going to target onto that Royal Ghost, or it could have been a lot of damage despite our poison there. The good thing about poison, it's going to allow your tower that second to retarget in between killing all the skeletons in one tick, you know? So here we go again, going pretty aggressive here. We're going to go with the log as well in the right lane, just chipping away at that right tower, and that's, you know, the key to any kind of minor poison deck, especially the P.E.K.K.A. kind of control-y decks, is use your P.E.K.K.A., use the Rascals on defense, and then chip away with that miner. As you get into double elixir time against a normal matchup, not against a graveyard, you can start comboing the miner and the poison together in double elixir time. You don't usually want to do that unless you're given tremendous value, as we discussed on the graveyard situation 2 replays ago in the first 2 minutes of the match. So again, getting the right tower down to 953. We're playing those Rascals high this time, avoiding that poison. A great kind of intuitive, predictive Rascal play there, suspecting the opponent would go ahead and try to poison. So the opponent just used their log. That's going to mean we can send in the miner here in the right. He doesn't go like, you know, balls to the wall on the right though and drop the Goblin Gang as well. We're trying to remain patient. We know he does have, of course, the Ice Golem as well. So we don't want to run all of our Swarm troops right into that Ice Golem. This time, the opponent is smart. He's aware of where we placed our Rascals last time, and he's ready for it. He drops that poison, does a lot of damage onto our left tower, 558 to 627. A predictive log here, just in case the opponent tombstoned. They do not, but we're chipping, guys. 351. We can't do the predictive poison, so predictive log is still a good tactic to use when you need to chip away at the tower. This time, we played the high Goblin Gang. Goblin's doing a little bit of help on that graveyard poison, doing most of the heavy lifting, but we do get the final blow in, using our final poison to use that final tick against that final tower on the right lane. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will go ahead and include a White Lights player profile and stats in the description below, thanks to statsroyale.com, my sponsor here on the channel, as well as Bren Chong, a longtime sponsor. Check out his information in the description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. You rock! Thank you, I appreciate it. And as always, take care, guys.